Hi, how are you? It's a pleasure to be here. I am Stacey Singh. I am your self-mastery and development coach. I am deeply committed to walking you on your journey back to yourself. I don't just coach from theory. I want you to know that I coach from complete embodiment. So nothing here is like new, tested, tried out. I'm coming to you as a real person from a real space and excited to have you on this journey with me. Um, I'm here to remind you that you are not broken, that your readiness is not defined by perfection, but it is defined by your presence. So just keep in mind that your healing is never a finish line and it is on a continuous unfolding. You don't need to be healed at all. You don't need to be fixed to move forward. And I just want you to take a moment to let that land. You're here for a reason, and I hope you get what you came for. So just giving you a moment as you process that. I know some things are coming up for you, and a lot of people here are really surrounded in the myths of what it mean to move forward and this idea of what perfect looks like and being healed looks like. But guess what? We don't need you to be healed. We need for you to show up in the beautiful presence you are, show up and let people see what it looks like to be human, show up and let people know that they're not alone. Because when you show up, you give people permission to actually step into their full beingness and give it a shot. What does it take for you to give it a shot? What does it take for you when you are in that space and you see something that resonates? Are you looking to be perfect or are you looking to get it done? That's food for thought, right? So, some collective beliefs that we have about what we need to be and who we need to be when we move forward is like, I can't step into purpose until I've healed my childhood wounds. Them childhood wounds gonna be there. They not going anywhere. And it's not about healing them. Sometimes we move on and they're not healed, but it's about holding them, knowing that they have had lessons and gifts in them, seeking the support that we need in order to move within them. And, like really moving through the process of still coming out as a winner despite whatever happened to you. And I'm not asking for you to ignore it. That's not what it is, the request right now. But how do you embrace who you are and who you're being, this, and what are the lessons that you got from it? How did it help you to understand? How did it help you to calibrate that person that came alive? How did it help you to becoming the empathic, the empathetic, the compassionate, the person with understanding that you have evolved into? So think about that. Those things have been there and it helped to create the person that you've become, the beautiful person that have these needs and these desires and this will to move forward in your design, your perfect design in the areas of art that you choose to expand through. Another collective belief that is rocking the world and is keeping us a little on a standstill is I need to get my money right before I launch this idea. Honey child, I'm here to tell you that money may not get right for a long time. And if you are a person that's been at a standstill and nervous to move forward and waiting to be healed to move forward, I got a secret for you. That money may never get right because you hold it back on your gifts. You're holding back on the things that's going to get your money right. People not waiting for the perfect side of you. This is part of the whole idea. This is part of where your lucrative, your income, your financial increase is going to set the way for you. The thing that you're holding back and the thing that you're trying to hide is actually the thing that's going to support you and catapult you forward. So keep that in mind. While you holding back your money and your blessings too. Speaking from experience, right? Like the things that I chose not to move forward with kept me at a standstill financially as well. So explore how that shows up for you and what's coming up for you in that as well. It's food for thought. Just saying. Another one is, who am I to lead others when I still struggle? Who are you? Right? So the thing that comes up around this is you're not good enough. Again, you're not perfect. You have faults. Who's going to listen to you? Other people that are struggling, other people that seeing that you're not allowing that to get in the way, other people that's watching you still be successful. Let me let you in on a little secret. I think I heard my wonderful next lifetime husband, Barack Obama, mention it. He's like, no matter how far I got to the top or how perfect I thought people were, I came to realize that they just people. Everybody has stuff going on. So don't let that be what stops you. Take a moment if you can and you befriend people at the top of the top. I don't care if they're in the Oval Office. I don't care if they run in other countries. In his words, not mine, but I've also been around people that I thought were so much better than I as an individual. And what I loved about it was that as I got to know them, they gave me permission to be myself. As I got to know them, I was able to see their power in their beingness and the things that made them unstoppable. What I thought was moving them and pushing them forward actually grounded me even more so and gave me the confidence because I'm like, wow, not that you're just like me, but you're human. And thank you for showing me the human side of you. So take that moment and like get to know people, and like look at people, everybody that you see that are in a successful position. I promise you, they're not as perfect as you think. And I really don't even like using that term, people are not perfect. I believe that everybody's perfect. I'm here to shift we're perfect. All of us are perfectly designed to be the version that we are. I am perfectly Stacey Singh. You are perfectly you with all those imperfections. So you're never going to meet a perfect person if we're like, oh, nobody, like, come on. We're all perfect. Not as in we all get everything right and we're all blemishless and we're all doing everything with the most ease. No, we're all here. We're all human and we are perfectly designed to be ourselves. So let's stop striving to be perfect and let's just strive to be ourselves because if we keep holding up and keep trying to do that battle, we're going to lose every time, right? Because what we're comparing ourselves to doesn't even exist. That's the best kept secret. What we're looking for doesn't exist. And that version of us will never exist. So it's time that we release that, right? And healing must come first, then success, then visibility. Something I've learned for myself in my process of healing along my journey, along my walk, as I waited for myself to heal, I got introduced to the other parts of me, more parts of me that I realized that was not healed. It was like, okay, now that we strip back that layer, let me introduce you to this part that you did not have access to because the other part was running the show. So, what I learned along the way was not that I needed to be healed completely, but I had to learn how to self regulate. And I also had to learn how to take care of myself and provide myself with the necessary tools, the necessary support system, the help that I needed, the education that I needed. That's what I needed. Not that I needed to be healed first, but that I needed to make sure that I had myself in position to navigate with a healthy mindset, not a perfect mindset, because I quickly realized that there's always going to be something that I'm working on. And even if I healed all of my past, things are happening now. I'm not living a perfect life now. Things are happening and I'm navigating through life right now. And, some things are going to come up that may not necessarily fit into a traumatic feel or deserve the title as traumatic, but things that I do wish were different, things that I wish I knew how to handle in different ways. So, we have to release that and step out into life and be in that space, because it's waiting there to embrace us, is there for us to put one foot in front of the other and unfold the way that we're supposed to unfold, right? So, some beliefs that I held myself, I just shared quite a bit. I can't fully show up if I'm not healing my relationships with my parents or my past. Like, there isn't a whole lot of healing to be done there, like healing with them. Possibly not. Healing with myself, yes, I get to navigate and I get to transform and I get to look at myself and appreciate the grander versions that is showing up. I get to be proud of myself in the process because some things are just not going to shift about them. I've tried for years to have conversations and to get to the other side of how things were working and, to hold compassion and to hold vision and sight and understanding. But just because I'm ready don't mean that they were ready, right? And when I say they, it's not to put one person on blast or put the other person on blast, but even relationships outside of that, it can be friendships or, romantic interests. We're not all moving at the same pace, right? Some people are moving faster than you. They're moving so fast that you're like, whoa, hold on. I'm not even ready to shed that part of me yet. And some people are moving at a way slower space and a way slower pace, and no matter how you're holding the conversation, you acknowledge, you're like, oh, this isn't going to connect with you because you're not there yet. Not that you'll never get there, but as of this moment right now, you're not there. So this conversation is not going to go the way I trying to project, but I can hold space and hope that you grow into it. But I don't need to sit here and wait here until that happens. I get to move forward anyway, right? If I show up before I'm perfect, I'll be seen as a fraud. That part, right? I got lost for words for a second because that is something that leads us a lot of times. Like, if I'm not the person walking in perfection, or, I would be a fraud, not just that, people would think that I'm a hypocrite. Baby, you're learning, and in order for you to get to the other part, you're gonna have to put one foot in front of the other. There's no way around it. You cannot get to that evolved version of you until you take the step by step. Life happens in a loop. You think about it, oh, I have a great idea. Then you start to fantasize, you get to visualize. It's a dance. You sit there and you're just like, all right, this will look like this, and this will look like that, and what do I need to learn, and what do I need to do? And you get the whole concept, and you really dance in the space of it, and you're having a good old time with the thought of it. And that is normally the extent of where most of us stop, right? We stop right there, and then we start going back into these titles and these mind frames and these thoughts and these perceptions that hold us back instead of like closing this loop of embodiment. It is this loop of manifestation. Like the thought came up, it's already there for you to step into. You can actually visualize, you have everything that you need to step into it, right? You sat there and you fantasized it from beginning to end. And then when it became space to take action, the action came at a standstill. And it came at a standstill because that's where you're like, oh, I'm a fraud. You're not. You're absolutely not. But guess what? You'll never know unless you give it a shot, unless you give it a try. If you stay there in the fraud, you're never closing the loop. And in order for you to even get to the next thought, you're going to sit there and ruminate in it instead of giving birth to a new thought. a new fantasy, a new idea, a new experience that is getting you to the grand scheme, the grand version, the best part of you, the best embodiment, watching you grow and flourish. But instead, you're stuck at this primary thought and you can't get to the other thing. I don't know if you even stop to think about it. Just think about sometimes when you execute one action and then before you know it something else opens up for you, and because the old is the old, that doesn't even ruminate anymore. That's there's no space because you've been there, you've done that, right? Now for some of us it's something that we continue to do because we're making it into art, we're making it to like this is our career, we're making a career out of it. So yes, you can perfect it, but you cannot perfect something that you've never tried. How do you make something better if you never even made it? You can't even make it good to get in order to get to the next level. That's why it's called the next level. You have to step into it, right? So there is no next level. There is no greater vision or version of you if you're not willing to step into it, despite where you are or despite who you think you are. So those are some things, and you have to be confident before you move forward. That's another one. Like, look, confidence, it don't always show up the way we want it to show up. To be honest, I wasn't even confident in making this video that you're looking at. Like there is a knowing that I had, right? A knowing of the message that I know need to be related. I connected with that. I talked my way through it. I prepare for it. This has been going on days in, advance where it's like, okay, what do you want to communicate? But the confidence with how it's going to be executed, not necessarily confidence. Look, I don't know, I might be starting to shine. I gotta look over here. Confidence is not, sometimes it's that nerve. And sometimes when you're too confident, it can be an overconfident and you skip over the things that you really want to make sure is in there. The nervousness makes you want to land things. Am I doing it the way that I need it to be done? It makes you take a little more time with it. It makes you care for it a little more. It makes you cradle it like a baby. It makes you a little more present and conscious. You ever seen the difference of when someone's just learning something, whether it be a haircut, even though they're not, proficient in it yet, but the care and the way they listen and the way that they're present with the moment, it's everything. Even if it's not perfect, you know that they put their all into it and you can just foresee where they're going to be in the next year versus 5 years versus 10 years because of the presence that is there. You can see how they care, their passion, it comes alive in that moment. So don't cheat yourself out of that. All of that is there to help support you in the integration. It helps to support you in your growth. You don't want it to be perfect because if it's perfect, there's more lessons to be learned in the errors of it. There's more lessons to be learned in the confusion of it because in the errors and the confusion, you seek to learn more, right? When you have it perfect, the learning kind of stops there for a moment because you don't, you got it. But when you don't have it right, when you're looking up ways to get it right and in the exploration, you learn so many other things. So you don't just learn the thing that you thought you had wrong, but you learned like it's so much. It's like walking down or driving. Let's say you're driving down the street and you get lost and you're like, dag nibbit, I was supposed to make this left turn. Now, if you made that left turn, you would have gotten to your destination. But when you get lost, you find out, oh my goodness, there's a whole mall over here. Oh wow, the bank is over here. Oh wow, this looked like somewhere I can take a walk when, in the morning when I get up to do my workout. This seems like a pretty good area to do that. So there's so much more to explore and to learn when you're not coming into it with the whole idea of perfection, opposed to the people that come in and they nail it and they get it perfect. Did they do good? Absolutely. We're not taking credit away from that. But we're talking about us who need to be healed before we step forward. Like in that, allow yourself to explore and to learn way more than you even stepped into it for and with, right? So these are just things to keep in mind. You are on the right track. So here's what that belief system does to people. A lot of times, you get stuck in preparation mode. We spoke about that. The you don't quite land it. You don't quite close the loop. You feel isolated, like you start looking at other people, you think nobody understand, you ruminate in the process, you don't really put one foot in front of the other to even get the job done. You think that you're the only one that feels like this. That is the biggest myth. Right? The biggest myth is you're alone in this. No one understands when in fact everybody understand. They just shift into another space and they realize that there's a shift that needs to happen. And the shift, just because they look perfect in front of you, don't mean that those nerves are not activated. They're shaking on the inside. I'm a person, even when I'm going, I look confident and I'm doing, it looks smooth and it looks like I'm having a good time, which I am, but the questions are still going there. Still doing the checkpoints in my mind. And often I won't even pick up a bottle of water. Like I would go thirsty the whole entire time because that would be the moment you see my nerves going, and my nerves would just start shaking. The bottle of water would be like, and I don't want people to see that part. So I will not pick up anything to drink because that energy with the vibration and you're going and your nerves are just rattling at that moment. When I'm in movement, you can't quite identify that. So, everything, people get nervous and that's normal, right? And then you start feeling ashamed because people would think that you're not there yet. And that's okay. Because guess what? You're not there yet. And that's okay. Sometimes we lead ourselves to believe the truth. Something is wrong with the truth. There's nothing wrong with the truth. You're not there yet. And okay. And the goal is to get there. So embrace that because you're knowing that the problem comes in is when you're acting like you're there and you're not. Now you're showing people that you need to come across as perfect. But if you don't put that out there, then you don't have to worry about it. Like they're not expecting perfection to come through. But what you can do, you're not going to go out there and put out this whole idea. Don't do what you're not ready for. And being ready is different from being nervous. You can be nervous, excuse me, you can be nervous and be completely ready. And you can act like you're ready and not be, and then you're gonna like really look silly out there in these streets, and that's not what we're looking for. When we come out into these streets, we don't want people to mistake our confidence or our knowledge and our skill for ill preparedness. Is that a word? Ill prepared, not being ready, not being prepared. But you can be fully prepared and still be nervous, and that's okay. See, look, I'm not even perfect in this, and I'm not trying to be perfect because that's the whole idea of this, right? So let that sink in for a second. Like, what is that bringing up for you? How are you feeling with that? Mhm. Be with it. Sit in the truth of it. And that's okay. That's okay. All right. So now I want to move you into things that, like things that it cost you. And these are questions that I want you to ask yourself. Like, what is this costing you? What's the cost of you waiting? Because what you're thinking the cost is costing you so much more than what you're thinking. And the things that you are, that's taking up real estate in your mind. they need to be evicted or they need to be repositioned because those front running thoughts are not the ones that's supporting you. So what can you move forward? Like what can you replace some of that with to help shift you forward? Some things that is costing you, your purpose is being delayed, right? You're putting it back, something that you can execute in the next 5 minutes or the next week or the next month or the next year is now your 5 minutes can easily be pushed into another year because you think that you're not ready to do something that you can just get up and do. If that is not frustrating, and I'm speaking from existence. Yeah, that's right. I'm speaking from existence. I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from like I have watched myself go on hold. I have been coaching for approximately 14 years now, and the first few years it took me a while to even think about what my niche is going to be because I had all these illusions about myself instead of standing in my power. Like the transition, and I believe that everything is perfect and it comes in divine order, which have me sitting here being able to discuss this with you because I got real life experience with it. But your purpose becomes delayed, and not saying that anything is wrong with that, but do you want it to continue to be delayed? Now that we're awakening to this idea and this thought about this process, is that the way we want it to be intentionally? It's different when we didn't know, but now we know. Like, that's what we really want to do here, right? People are you're meant to be to serve is left waiting, no pressure, but you got your people out there that's waiting for you to come out. And here's the thing, they're waiting for you. You're clear, they're waiting for you. You're looking at you doing certain things like nobody has done it the way I've done it before. Yeah. You're also thinking about the world when you're sitting there in those fantasies. You are envisioning the people that it's supporting. You're envisioning the life that it's shifting. You're envisioning the benefits people are getting from it. You're envisioning the transformation that you are bringing forward, whether it's through your art, whether it's through your poetry, whether it's through your candle making, whether it's through whatever it is, it doesn't matter, whether it's through your songwriting. There's so many talents out there. You are doing it for a purpose and a reason, and you're connected to it, right? And these people gotta wait until you get it together. No pressure, but that sounds pretty irresponsible to me. And yeah, I've been irresponsible. Yes, I have. I've been irresponsible for a long time. I have. I have. But I'm moving now, right? I've been moving for a little while now. And it's okay. We just can't get stuck there. And while it is like that, and I'm calling it out because it has a weight. I'm not telling you anything that you didn't know. I'm not trying to put guilt on you. I'm letting you know that me too. This is a us. We're in this movement together. And I'm speaking from a space of understanding, which is why I'm here doing this now because I watch the people that I work with, right? I've watched clients that I've coached, I've watched friends, I've watched family. I know some of the most talented and the most gifted people that are in my life. And I'm just like, people don't get to access this because we're at a standstill. And that made me reflect like, people don't get freed or be released from these ideas because I'm sitting on my hands up until now, right? So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What I gotta work on that. I'm always singing. I think because my name is Sing, there's a part of me because I'm clear that I can't sing, but there's a part of me that really feel like I need to sing. All right, that was that. I need to get that out. So let's be honest. What does ready even mean? What does it mean to get ready? You ever went on vacation? I'm not talking about for y'all perfectionists out there, right? Because there's perfectionists out there. But when you're ready to go on vacation, I'm a last minute packer. I already envision what I want in my bag, and I might pack the morning of. I might pack the hour of. That's right. That's how I move. And I'm not ashamed of it. Right. So to be ready, and yeah, of course, that lands with me not having something or forgetting something all the time. Absolutely. But I got things to do with the rest of my time. Absolutely. But we're not here to judge me. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. But what does perfection even mean? I mean, what does ready even mean? Yeah, because I'm on the topic of perfection, right? And some people think that it means that you got to be perfect. Doesn't stop my trip from happening. I don't mind going out and picking up an eyebrow pencil. I'm okay with that. That's not the end of me, But if that's what you need in order, if you need the time to sit down and orchestrate and put it together and align it and do the checklist, then you do that. But allow yourself the time to do it. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to forget anything because just because you write it down don't mean that you wrote down everything that you need to do. Because what works for me when I'm getting ready, and even if I'm doing it the hour before, the morning of, why that works for me is because everything I use that morning or everything is just like, oh, eyebrow pencil, just use that. That's going in the bag. I don't need to pack it before or pack it after. That's real life, real time. That's how I ensure that I don't forget certain things. Up, getting dressed, like I'm walking myself through the process. In everything I use, it reminds me that you're going to need this. So everyone has their own special way of getting ready. So you can't really put that on what someone else or how someone else is moving because it's going to look different for you as it than it does for them, right? People are thinking with that perfection, people think that I'll be ready when I have more confidence. We debunked that earlier, right? I'll be ready when I've healed all my trauma. Baby, we creating issues. It may not be trauma that we're creating, but there's parts of you that aren't going to be healed anytime soon. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell it. Tell the truth, shame the devil. The reason some parts of you are not going to be healed anytime soon is because you don't even have access to seeing or even realizing that that's a trauma yet. That's a trauma response yet. So no matter how you try, no matter how many therapists you spoke to, no matter how many coaches you were in contact with, you didn't even bring up the subject matter because you didn't know the core of the problem yet. You're still learning that. And if it's meant for you to even learn, it could just be a tool. So it's not going to be when it's all, but it's where you are now. Are you ready? Can you do the thing that you're looking to do now and not tie it in with your trauma? You singing a song might have something to do with it, but can you sing the song without being completely healed? Can you create that candle without being completely healed? Can you paint that portrait without being like, it's not stopping you from moving forward. And if it is stopping you, for most people, it's not. I'm not going to be here to be like, oh my goodness, it's impossible. But if it is, are you seeking the help and support that you need to move forward? Because a lot of us know what the problem is and we're not doing anything with it. So, what are we doing? Are we just sitting there stagnant, hoping that it shifts, hoping that it moves, sitting in the muck of it? Or are we actually looking to find resolve for it? And again, do you need to find resolve for what it is you need to do? Food for thought. I'll be ready when everything looks polished from the outside. Some people may not be waiting for you to be polished. Some people want to see you start from where you are right now. That's how you make a believer out of them. I know people that keeps on rebuilding, like instead of you watching them grow and watching them explore and expand every time you go to a certain part, you go to their website or you go to their social media, it's always on a brand new. You don't walk the walk with them. I'm a person, I've always been looking for the authenticity in people. And yeah, you get to revamp your information. I'm not saying that you don't, but you get stuck in the it needs to look perfect, it needs to look perfect, it needs to look perfect to where you're never taking momentum, right? So you take that first step and you get stuck in that first step. So you really can't get to step two, three, four, five. Don't get stuck in step one, right? So it doesn't matter the polish. People want to see, and they're okay with seeing where you started. They want to see the evolution of you. There's new people coming into your life, and that's important for them to see the evolution of you. So don't get stuck in step one. It's just step one. When you're done with step one, we go to step two, then step three, then we keep on moving, right? Readiness is not perfection, it's a decision. You're literally making a decision to move forward. And you have to think about, do you want to move forward? Right? You get to like really make that decision. It's not a destination. It's not the readiness is not it. It's not the end of it. That's just the beginning. It's not a place that you arrive once you've checked off all the boxes. It's a moment where you decide to show up as you are, fully present and willing. You're not perfect, but you're aligned, you're available, and you are willing to move. It's a willingness. So even when you're thinking, if you have given birth before, if you're a mother, you know, heck, you getting ready. We know that birthday, Labor Day is coming. You get those nerves. There's the fears of the unknown. Everything about you, your soul is speaking to you, spirit is speaking to you, your body is doing what it does. Everything is adjusting in real time. You really don't have no control, but it's doing what it needs to do. It's getting into preparation. And when that moment came, it's just like, or come, you don't know what's going to happen, right? There's lots of unknowns, there's lots of fears, but it's about to happen. You got to show up anyway. You got to make sure that you are where you need to be because ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. It's coming, it's happening anyway, right? There's no turning back. Is happening. So how do you get yourself into that mind frame, that position of how do you get yourself ready to the point of there's no turning back from the thought process to the fantasy process to the actual execution of the process? All of it. You're not to be stuck in the thought, in the fantasy. When you're having a baby, you can't get stuck in the thought, in the pregnancy. No matter how much you cannot turn back, that baby is coming out. It's coming out, right? And if you haven't had a kid, think about a time when you started a new job or even launched a business or moved to a new city. You know, saying yes after being out of coming out of a relationship, the heartbreak that comes with it. Not ready then either, a lot of the time. Not. But you committed to it, it's going to happen, and you want to make sure that you're in a position that you're not being forced into situations, right? We want to get in ourselves into a position where we are making choices in our lives, where we're showing up and we're the deciding factor, not circumstance happening. So now, ready or not, here it comes. You got to fall into childbirth. Yes, I get that. Some things, when it's involving other people, yes, I totally understand and get that also. But this is your destiny. This is your dream. This is your creation. You get to choose when you go. I don't want you just left in the crisis of life where you're just responding other than reacting? Or is it where you're reacting rather than responding, rather than making conscious decisions and doing it with joy and knowing that you have a choice in your pace, how you move forward? You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with this? So that's extremely important. You are in control. So let's take a look at what that might look like. Social media is a real thing. It's happening. A lot of people want to make content. And this is just an example. I want you to take this and apply it to any part of your life that you see fit and, it's suitable. So, social media, for example, people want to be content creators, right? And they want to have this booming, they want to have all these followers, of the sort, but they think about it, they envision the things that they can do, but don't quite step into it, afraid of it. Talking to myself too, right? But how do you get ready for that? Like real time get ready. It might be post a picture. Is that where you see yourself in the end? Absolutely not, but it gets the momentum going. You post a picture and you put a caption. Oh, you just did that. Guess what? Somebody might like it. 10 people might like it, 20 people. Before you look at it, you got a lot of likes, and a lot is dependent on you. So I'm not going to really throw a number out there because a lot more than you expected for the picture might be five, and for a lot for some people might be 25 or 100, and and for some it's thousands. And you kind of get a sense of where people see you and how you are getting yourself out there. If you are a person that haven't put yourself out and you have like 25 followers, there's only but so many likes you're going to get, right? So put yourself out there and allow it to grow. There's nothing wrong if you don't get any likes. You are getting used to building the momentum. You went from none to at least you put a picture. Then you're still nervous, you don't know what to do. Then you put a faceless reel out there. You can actually put something where you see people folding clothes or they're washing a car. And now you have things that look like the where things are going in the background that has nothing to do with the video, but it has a visual, is coming up as a visual, and people are listening to the message. It doesn't even have to be in your voice, right? That's something that you can do. Okay. And now from there, now we're making momentum. It's not just a single picture. You actually putting some content out there, but you still want to you're not quite ready, but you're in the momentum. You're doing it, right? From there, you put out a 30-second reel with your voice. You're not quite ready for the picture, but your voice is out there. Ooh, I hear her. Ooh, I felt that. That made sense. Got it. Next thing you know, it's a 60-second video, and now your face is in there. Or it could be a 5-second video with your face and your voice. Or it could be something where you are actually the person in the picture doing the thing now, but you have automated a voice up there, or it just comes with signage or caption, but you're making momentum, right? You're putting one step in front of the other. That settles in your soul. Before you know it, you making the video, made a whole 60-minute video, or it might be 5 minutes or 25. You're on YouTube, you're doing a podcast, but you did the momentum. Some people, they go straight into it. No stop, no pause, no anything. That's what it is. But we're not comparing ourselves to what other people are doing. Start where you are now. You need to do one and then do the other. If you need to creep into it before you crawl, before you stand, before you walk, before you jump, before you run, that's your process, right? And some people skip all that and go straight to running. That's their process. You're not here to compare. You're here to be the perfect you that you are, because there's also people that are looking and need to see that that's how it's being done. You're giving people permission to be themselves when you are being yourself. Readiness is a doorway you walk through, not a certificate you earn. You just walk through it. Healing is a lifetime integration, not a prerequisite to live. That's something you really need to be clear on. Like I said before, it may not happen And for a lot of people, people leave this earth not fully healed. So if that's what you're waiting for, that moment, I want you to stop and reflect on how long have you been getting ready to be ready and waiting until you're ready, and you're just sitting there. You're getting smarter, but you're not making movements, and no one is getting to benefit from what you're doing and who you are as you show up. So just think about it. You don't arrive fully healed. You heal as you walk. You integrate as you evolve. You grow while you're in motion. It's just part of the process. And the most beautiful part about it is you don't have to carry the shame anymore for being in the process, because we all are. We're all in the process of this. You're not alone. Ask anybody, and anybody who leads you to thinking that it has to be perfect before you get started, lies. It's lies. It's all lies. Now, some people do need to be prepared, but normally those that wait until they're prepared, they are preparing to make a move. They're not waiting to prepare. They're not waiting to be prepared and not preparing. That's the difference. People who are in actual real time preparing make a move. But I'm getting that that's not who I'm talking to right now. I'm talking to you who's afraid, who know that you're prepared, but don't think you're ready. And if you fall into the other category, I'm talking to you too. You know, we're all taken from this. I don't know what anyone is taking from this, because some things are going to apply to you, some things are not going to apply to you. So we want you to start where you are using what you have, right? We're often looking so far ahead that we miss what's already in reach. Do not miss out on that. You are ready. It doesn't have to be a fully made out thing. You're ready. You're ready. I feel like, this whole thing is about making sure that you're ready. That's what you got. We're here. Like, really think about it. And what do I already have to access that right now? Maybe it's not money, a large audience, or all the free time in the world, but maybe you have just enough to get started. Like, what do you need? It's time for you to do like a real evaluation, like to really sit down and check out what you do have instead of thinking about what you don't have and why it needs to look perfect. Like, is there someone who can babysit for an hour or so that you can record your content? Like, what do you have? Is there someone that can take the child on a walk if you're a mother and you're having a hard time doing that? Or even, or if you're a parent that's having a hard time doing that, a caretaker that's having a hard time doing that, what do you need? Can you do it while you're with them? How can you orchestrate your time around that? Is there a friend who believes in you, that can walk with you, sit with you, flesh through some of these things with you, have some ideas, help you come up with ways that they see you because they know you, so they can see how things can work for you. They see and they envision who you are. They know what a lot of your skills are, right? And even if they don't fully understand your path, they can just hold space or check in with you. They can hold you accountable, not as in, I thought you said you were going to do that, but hey, how are you doing with that? So that you don't forget who you are and what you're capable of doing, right? So these are things that you need to see if you have in place. What do you have in place? Is there someone that you can ask questions to? Is there a class that you can take? Is there a move that you can make right now? Because I have a feeling that the people that I'm talking to right now already know, and it's just a matter of taking action. Because you might not need more time, just reclaiming the time that you already have, right? So what's coming up for you? Allow that to come up and see what's there. So let me see where we want to go, because I feel like I talked about quite a bit, and sometimes I get ahead of what's happening. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay. So here we are. Your truth is the way forward, right? So now you've seen that readiness is not some perfect destination. It's part of your own understanding. It's where your magic lives. It's not in books. It's not in other people's opinions. It's not even in the thought process, like the process, and it's not even going to happen the way you think that it's going to happen. Sometimes you just got to step into it to see what unfolds. It's your thought process is just the outline to give you momentum to help you to step into it fully. Your your power is not something to be found, it's something to be remembered. We live in a world that has taught us to doubt ourselves, right? To like look at what's going on around us and for us to be compared to the what's going on and what's in and what other people are bringing to the table when you have something completely unique, right? We think that somebody knows better. We surround ourselves with, and not surround ourselves, we listen to the voices that do not validate who we are as people. We listen to, we tend to like really pay attention and key into the moments of what isn't true about us. We hold on to that because some of us have this addiction to finding out what's not working opposed to what's working. People will spend their life every time they see you, they can talk about your gifts. Let me tell you how this worked for me. And oh my goodness, this brought up this for me and it shed light and it healed me in this way. And oh my goodness, it touched my heart and you really connected. And we walk around like la 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 la, completely absolved of we didn't even hear that. That is on the lesser scale because we're so ran by this program of the world for us to really figure out and stick with the things that are not working. That's where we put our attention in. But we're not really leaning into our own lived experience, right? Your unique insight, your own understanding, your intuition that hits, that comes up. Like we have to program ourselves. So if one person is telling you this, that's okay. I don't know if it's true. That was true for them. Another person is telling you this. It's just like, oh my goodness, you might not even recognize that you heard it before in that moment. Third person tell you like, wow, let me tell you, this really worked for me. Your subconscious is now going, wait a minute, we heard that before. We're starting to hear this time and time again. People will tell you what your gifts are, and they'll tell you if what you're doing is working for them and how it's working for them. So it's important for you if you're sitting there and you're doing something and people are telling you that it's working, it's time for you to put it out there. If you are the person that's sitting in the 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 times and you're not moving, now you know you're holding on to something. You're holding on to your gift, and now you're being gatekeeper because you're clear. At this point, you're clear that what you're doing is making an impact. Right. So we need to make sure that we're shifting into out of the programming of listening to those that really don't matter. And I want you to really think about that because look at the lives and look at the people that you're listening to. Where do they play in your life? What do their life look like? What is your relationship with that? And if it's not a healthy relationship, if you don't feel as though they're supporting you 110%, if their life isn't looking like, hey, they're doing the thing, like this is a leader, and they're really coming from the point of supporting me in this process because they've walked the walk, they've walked through the fire, then are they really the person that I need to be listening to? And in most places, whenever I reflected on that for myself, I came to realize like, this person isn't even worthy of me listening to them. Like, they're not doing anything. They always have something to say, but they're not living what it is they're telling me. The advice that they're living, that they're given, they're not living. Oh, I just dropped bars. The advice that they're given, they're not living. Right? So why am I so caught up into that? And that might be something that you need to tap into to see how you can be supported around that. You might want to talk that out with a friend. You might want to talk that out with somebody that you trust, therapy or whatever it is that come read it in a book. However it is you need to shift that. That's what the work needs to be done so that you can move forward because nobody has your blueprint, right? Nobody has your rhythm. Nobody has your perspective. No one else has your timing. No one has the exact voice. Yeah, somebody might be out there doing what it is you're doing, but no one is going to do it like you. In addition to that, so what if someone is doing it? One person cannot. There's billions of people in this world and they cannot connect to and touch everybody. And I don't care if it's the same message, you are going to deliver it in a unique way. It might be your energy level, it might be your voice. Some people aren't going to come to me because I'm just a little too excited. And some people might think I'm not excited enough. So that's not my people. That might, you ever heard someone, someone listen, hear someone say something one time and you're like, I've been telling you that. I told you that 3 times already, but you weren't the person to deliver that message to them. So maybe you are the person to deliver your art, to deliver your message, to deliver whatever it is you do. It comes up in communication. Words are just 7% of the communication process. So maybe you do it in a car, maybe you do it in poetry, maybe you would do it in electricity, wiring things like it transfers differently. You are the method. It's you. You are the process. Don't worry about how it's being done out here and who's doing it and how they're doing it. They're waiting for you to do it. The oomph, the je ne toi. Listen and don't judge. Don't judge me on that. If I used it correct, yay. If I didn't, we just gonna let that rock because it went smooth, right? But you are the person, you are the medicine that someone else have been praying for, right? You are the vessel that's being utilized in this moment. So go ahead and do it. Just like you sitting next to someone in a public space and they said something and it connected for you. Who gets it and how they get it is none of your business. You don't know the lives that you're shifting, the lives that you're changing. So I'm just asking that you step into it, right? This means that your path will look different. It might be a little slower. It might take some spirals before you even soar, but that is okay, right? And it's not going to make sense to everybody. That's okay too. But what matters is it makes sense to you. It'll make sense to your soul, and you need to be the one that listened to you. You need to be the one that embody it. So here's my invitation. My invitation is just that you take a moment and you think about what are you waiting for. You don't need to be healed. You don't need to be perfect. You are perfect. You don't need to be this grand version of what perfection looks like. You are perfect. You're ready. It doesn't have to be something that is long as this. It can be something that's 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It could be your skill. You can get someone else to do it for you. Just get out there, whatever it is. Lean into your truth. Make space to ask, what do I now know to be real for me? Right? What is real to you? What does it look like to you? Not to everybody else, but to you. I want you to listen to your body, listen to your inner voice, and trust what comes up. Trust the whispers that you hear, even if no one else hear it, because it's for you. Every time you choose your own knowing, you affirm your own your own essence. And that's what readiness really is. It's your sovereignty showing up. You get to stand into the kingdom of who you are. You get to sit in your own throne, your own divinity. And that's what I'm inviting you into. It's not waiting until everything is perfect. It's not deciding when you're enough to begin, right? It's you, just the way you are now. I invite you to step into that space, not for me, but for you. But you might be doing it for me too. Come on, let your art speak to the world. Show up as you are, perfect and complete. I love that for you. Right? So if you need a permission slip, here it is. This is your mirror. This is your confirmation. This conversation that came up. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just beginning from a deeper place. How's that hitting for you? Did I speak to somebody? Did I connect with somebody? I'm just really wanting you to step into the fullness of who you are, right? And you get to define that for yourself, not based on someone else's beliefs, but yours, not based on someone else's readiness, but yours. So, huh, that was a bit much. Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited. That's what's coming up for me right now. I'm sitting here in the excitement of it, right? And I'm also going to take this moment to reintroduce myself. I am Stacey Singh. I am your self mastery and development coach. I support others in peeling back layers, remembering who they are, and creating lives that reflect the truth of their being, not just your doing. So, right now, I know I spoke about social media and all of that stuff. That was perfectly in place, also. But I want you to know that I am relaunching, that's the word, relaunching as myself. I was a self love coach, and I'm relaunching as a self mastery and development coach. And right now, I am in the middle of my social media page coming up. So when you go there, it's going to be a little like nothing's here. I'm there and I'm in the midst of getting things up and going, right? So I'm not going to direct you to my old stuff because, that's already in the making and that's already there. But this is what I'm really trying to call the attention. Not I'm trying, this is what I'm calling attention to. And it's I Am Sovereign. You can find me on Instagram. And if you want to, and I'm revamping the website. So in the future, I'm going to drop a link and it's going to be connected to my information with my website. It's not quite ready just yet. It is almost there, but it's not there yet. But I will share that with you when the time comes. And I'm not coming to you as a finished product or persona. You may not see where it's going just yet, but I'm just asking that you trust it. But I'm coming to you as a real person. What you'll see in me is you'll journey with me in the building, becoming, and rising, right? So if this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me on the Instagram. You can DM me directly. Again, that is I Am Sovereignty. Or you can feel free to email me directly at staceysing@gmail.com. That's STACEYSINGH@gmail.com. So whether it's still figuring it out or ready just to walk in your truth, or you just need someone to see you in your becoming, I'm here and I'm walking it too, right? And always remember, you don't need to be healed to be ready. You don't need to be fixed to move forward. You just need to say yes to yourself. And let's rise together.